Hi friends, this is Mangal and Muralidharan talking from India. Today I'm just going to talk to you about the importance of creating new ways of teaching vocabulary. And why do we need to really make sure that our students keep learning new vocabulary? It's a big question that many teachers ask me. And sometimes even learners find it very difficult to learn new vocabulary and they keep asking me, and how do I learn? I learn it and I forget it. So this is a real challenge. So you learn new words and you don't know where to use it. And sometimes they come and complain, I've learned all these and I don't know where do I use it because I don't have anybody around me who speaks with me in English. This is a reality for majority of people living in rural India. And they don't have any opportunity to talk to somebody who speaks with them in English. And it's quite important for them to have a Clubhouse app or some other app where they can connect with others in English. See, it's always easy to learn English if you or think in English, number one. Number two, you listen to people internationally. You listen to TED Talks, Google Talks, and you listen to international media. You watch BBC World or ABC, and you listen to CNN or watch CNN TV, or you listen to Voice of America, and you're going to really improve upon your way of thinking and your way of looking at the world. Not necessarily, all those channels I mentioned. You can even watch Al Jazeera. I don't mind really listening to varieties of English channels to have a global perspective. And sometimes the perspectives of each of these media channels might be different, right? Well, you don't need to really worry about it. What you need to really look at is their style of expression, their vocabulary, their usage, etc. We are going to really learn vocabulary, right? So how do we train our students to learn new words? That's a big question. Learning new words is all about learning new ideas, right? You learn a new word. That means you're going to really understand the background or the context of how to use that word, where to use it, when to use it. It could be quite difficult on on several occasions to use these new words. And even if we learn new words, we don't know where to use them. That is where I will always say learn to use them in your vocabulary notebook. Have a vocabulary notebook. It could be a digital notebook also, no problem, or a digital diary where you type it out. Okay. If not, use your note-taking app, right? You have a e-notes app or any make notes app, etc. Use there effectively. Use your Google Documents app where you can type it out, or you can even switch on your voice recorder and say things, right? So use the vocabulary effectively, right? Second, ensure you have some creative work to do with it. Sometimes people come and ask me, Mangal, I'm trying to do these word games, but I find it very tough. No problem. Check the videos related to them or podcasts related to them. Get the guidance. Do some research on it. And then you can really make sure those word games could be used to promote learning of vocabulary. And some teachers come and tell me, Mangala, I keep teaching them new words, but only a few of them are interested, others are not interested. See, it's impossible to make every learner get involved on all occasions, but create different activities for different groups. Because there are visual learners, and there are learners who love listening to and then learn. There are learners who read and learn, right? So give them ample opportunity to explore new fields of learning, create new games of learning, right? Check whether what games on learning vocabulary could be used, and you have Oxford Handbook of Teachers. So you so many vocabulary games books are available. Check them. Check those. Consult those books and try to identify. And you have teaching English, newsletters available. So you check that, and then you might really consult the peers, and you have people who have been teaching vocabulary, especially by concentrating on, say, storytelling. That is a very good strategy. It's an impeccable strategy, I would say. Tell a story and introduce a few words here and there, especially for young learners, kids. That will work wonders. Children love listening to stories, fairy tales, legends, myths, etc. and they pick up new words, and it does really help them to, to be highly motivated, and their creative thinking improves a lot. So your creativity also is going to be useful to you. So you learn to use, these strategies while teaching vocabulary. When it comes to college students, where do we use it? Use film clubs. You have a lot of film clips available. Take some films and make them watch some movies, and in between, the kind of vocabulary they use, you can use it. Or play 6 Minute English Grammar of the BBC World, or 6 Minute English. The BBC has got a wonderful, wonderful series of 6 Minute English. And I always make use of these series for students to pick up new vocabulary. And they do teach new scientific inventions or discoveries or all that. So anything and everything new could be shared. So knowledge sharing can happen only if there is good vocabulary. If your vocabulary is low, then you can't share your knowledge. Please be aware of it. If you want to really share your knowledge all over the world, whatever be your field, you need to really learn to use the vocabulary that you have learned, right? So learn a lot of new words, use them, and create your own examples, record them, and simplify your ideas depending on whom you are addressing. You should know whom you are addressing. We're talking to specialists, in your field. Suppose I'm going to really address course designers or course developers or trainers. If I'm going to have a train-the-trainer session, or I'm going to train a batch of corporate trainers, then I'm going to use C2 level vocabulary. But that doesn't work if I'm going to really talk to somebody who is at the B1 level. So I have to go to their level, address them, and then slowly make it tough for them to pick up. And then maybe I can give them strategies of learning, help them to learn. Then, put them on that mode of B2 level, and then slowly make them work on at the B2 level, and then push them on to C1 level and C2 level. But that takes time, friends. Evolution of learning, or rather improvement in learning or progress in learning, can happen only when there is a conscious monitoring, reviewing, and you need to reflect on the strategies of learning given. And we, as teachers, we are supposed to have a compendium of solutions. I've in fact written a research paper on it. We need to really have a compendium solutions for our learners who face innumerable difficulties. And this can happen only when we create personalized learning, or rather provide them handouts saying what strategies are useful, and analyze their learning strategies. Look at their learning strategies, analyze it, and make them aware of those learners who do better than them. And then see, this is again, also look at the way they learn. Look at various other ways of learning, various innovative ways of learning. And that is really going to work. I remember one of my teachers used to always tell me, even if you have 2 minutes time, don't waste it. And what you need to do is look at what you have, learn one idea, learn one new word, use it, and record whatever you've learned. In fact, I had someone from the University of Cambridge, and Professor Rajiv C. Krishnan. Once he told me, even if you have learned 5 new words or 5 new expressions or ideas, record them in your journal. He'll always say, record all that you learn newly in your journal. Record your thoughts, your feelings, your expressions, your ideas, or some beautiful expressions which you found, and review them once in a while. So in a way, you're going to really enrich your communication by recalling those expressions, using them again and again. And I'm sure this video helps you to make use of new strategies. And what else can we do? I've in fact created podcasts to explore new ways of thinking, motivating people. And in fact, I do have an idea of creating a new podcast in English language education. I'm going to create a new podcast on English language education. I'm going to interview experts in English language education and share their views, their ideas, and maybe it could be a kind of a discussion like a platform. But I wish I can do that in future. But my suggestion to you is, as a teacher, have your own podcast, have your own YouTube channel, have your own blog, and participate in the learning teaching process, contribute research to research journals continuously, and try to publish at least a book a year. These are my suggestions. But remember, teaching vocabulary is something which cannot be ignored. And teaching vocabulary is extremely important. So we need to create new strategies of teaching vocabulary. For example, there could be a day of idioms, or it's a Friday phrase, you can call it a day of idioms, where every student can use 5 idioms, 5 new idioms, right? And you can give slips of 5 new idioms with meanings, usage to all these learners the previous day. And the next day, they can make use of it, right? Create new opportunities for learning. Wish you all success. Have a great day. Enjoy your day. Bye bye.